guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome to day 3 of our eating reset challenge. My dog is right next to me, so he may try to hop onto the camera at some point. I don't know. But today we are talking about bodily cues and cravings. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this on Friday when we talk about emotions and eating. But one of the things that I really think could be a good practical take home for today's topic is really being able to identify and get more in touch with those bodily cues, right? Which ties into what I was talking about on Monday with intuitive eating. So part of the way that you would get more comfortable eating intuitively is being able to really connect with those bodily cues. So taking a moment before you reach for food or whatever it may be that you're going to do to really check in with yourself and better understand what it is you're feeling. So are you feeling full? Are you feeling thirsty? Are you feeling hungry? And being able to continually sort of check in with your body to better understand where you are so that you can respond in a way that feels appropriate and sort of honors what's going on for you. Hi. Hi there. I don't know if you can see him.
There he is.
Okay. All right. He wants to be on camera as well. So James, thank you. Thank you for your help. Okay. So I'm going to just move over here. See if we can get this going. There we go. Okay. So really being able to see and understand and really tap into those bodily cues that you have so that you're understanding what it is you need to do in response to those bodily cues, which will be easier and easier the more you do it and the longer you engage in that practice. So thinking about that, right? Like how often are we actually trying to identify at the moment? Do I feel thirsty? Do I feel tired? Do I feel stressed? Do I feel full? You know, in those times when you're eating maybe past a comfort zone, and you're like, wow, I was full maybe 15 minutes ago, but I continued to eat. Sorry, we have a guest today. Really being able to identify like, hey, what would it have felt like if I was able to act on what I identified? James. James, crate? Crate? Good boy. No, crate. Good boy. Oh my gosh. All right, sorry. He's a little bit crazy, as you might have noticed. All right, so I want to talk about cravings next. So I want to talk about the whole sort of spectrum of cravings. So thinking about when we're craving sweets, when we're craving salty, when we're craving crunchy, spicy, or if we're craving particular foods. So are we craving chocolate, or are we craving ice cream, or are we craving chips or candy, or are we craving a green smoothie? You know, I don't know. So thinking about and taking the time to explore what you're craving and really being able to get kind of clear on that is a good first step into unraveling why you're having cravings. You know, is it that you're reaching for something sugary when you're experiencing stress or feeling sad or feeling frustrated by something? You know, what does it look like for you when you're reaching for certain things? So we're all going to be a little bit different in this area, right? So what are the things that you tend to lean toward in terms of cravings, and when is that happening for you? Are there certain scenarios or settings that might trigger that for you? And what other steps can you take in order to sort of address some of these things that may need to be fueled? Like for example, if you're reaching for sweets when you're feeling really stressed out in a particular setting, like let's say at work, what can you do instead? What can you do that will help you relieve some stress, help you feel better in the moment, that maybe doesn't involve reaching for this sweet thing that you realize may not be the best fit for you at that time? So thinking about that, these are more, I feel like the questions for today are really in a more exploratory way where you would want to really ask yourself some of these questions to get a better understanding of how these things fit for you specifically. So what are your cravings? When do they come up? Are there certain triggers or cues that pop up before? And then really, really taking some time to get in touch with those bodily cues that you're having, right? So are you getting this pull to eat something, but then realizing, hey, I'm not actually really hungry. I just feel compelled to eat something right now. Instead, I'm stressed and maybe a little bit thirsty, right? So being able to really connect with what it is that you're feeling. So sometimes when I'm working with people about helping them get more in touch with their bodily cues and get more aware of what's going on for themselves, that's preceding a craving maybe, or that's part of the craving, is really pausing and asking yourself some of these questions, and also taking a minute or two to do some deep breathing, maybe a quick meditation, just closing your eyes and breathing into, what am I feeling right now? What's going on for me right now? What do I actually need right now? Which is kind of another way to really tap into that intuitive side of you, to figure out what is important to my body right now. What do I need? What would be nourishing to me right now? And it doesn't always have to be food related, right? Would it feel good to call a friend? Would it feel good to get up and go for a walk? Would it feel good to stretch? What would be something that would be helpful to address whatever's going on in that moment for you? So a lot of prompts, a lot of exploration today, a lot of thinking through, how does this fit for you? What does this look like for you in your life? Because we're all going to be really different in this area. So help me figure out what it is that you guys might want some more specific help with. So, feel free to write those in the comments. Feel free to have a discussion around this, and we can talk through some of the specific things that you may be struggling with, or the specific issues that you may be having, because I would imagine that there are probably other folks who have dealt with the similar things or the same things. So one of the other things that I want to talk about tonight, just briefly, and we'll talk about it again later on this week, is that I am opening up a couple slots for individual sessions, for individual coaching sessions. So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to take on a couple new folks to work with, probably between 2 and 3 slots. I'm trying to decide. Let me know if you're interested. The focus will be continuing on what we're doing this week in the Eating Reset Challenge. So the work will be specifically focused on changing and exploring your relationship with food. So in an individualized way, we'll go through your relationship with food, your cravings, identifying your own specific bodily cues and triggers, your beliefs around food, your emotions around eating, your eating environment, and we'll spend a heavy dose of time working through and helping to develop and cultivate a more intuitive eating practice. So if you're someone who has been maybe on and off diets throughout your life, or if you're someone who has changed your dietary practices due to a medical issue, if you're someone who just feels like your relationship with food could use some attention and could use some shifting, and maybe it's been a sort of a struggle here and there, and if you're at all intrigued by some of the things that we're talking this week, this would be a great opportunity to just take things a little bit farther. So I'll post some more details on that, and how to reach out to me and how to schedule something if you're interested in that. And since folks are participating in this challenge, I'm going to do maybe a max of 3 or 4 sessions that would be at the rate of $48. So I feel like that will give folks an opportunity to kind of take what we're learning this week and really take it a step farther, and be able to not only do a one-off session, if you want, that's also fine, but be able to sort of dive in and invest in saying, okay, I'm willing to take like 3 or 4 sessions to sort of explore some of these things that are going on for me, to try to go through adding in some pieces of intuitive eating into my life and learning more about my relationship with food and how that's impacting me, and what I do when I'm stressed, and what I do when I'm feeling strong emotions. How does that impact how I'm eating and digesting and feeling? So I was hoping to kind of do that promotional rate so that people can feel like they might be able to connect over the course of like 3 or 4 sessions. So let me know what you're interested in. I'm going to post some more information today, and it will only be the $48 promotional price for the individual sessions will only extend until probably Saturday evening. So we'll get through the challenge Friday. We'll give you guys kind of another extra day to go through the videos and come back through and check on stuff, but that will expire on Saturday evening at midnight. So if it's something you want, email me. We can hop on a call and talk about it. We could talk through and see if it's a good option for you. So just let me know. And sorry if this is kind of dark. I feel like my light has been like going down and down and down the longer I've been talking, so sorry. But anyway, let me know if you guys have questions about anything we've talked about today or Monday and Tuesday, and if you have questions or are interested in the sessions. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.